Hey there guys, welcome back. So let's talk about object-oriented programming in this video. So if you are someone new to this field, you may have heard about it before, but you never really knew that what really is object-oriented programming. So if you open up your browser and search for object-oriented programming, you will encounter zillions of results, and the definition you will find out there are really pretty good. But they are very broad, very in-depth. You will definitely gain a lot of knowledge by reading those. But the thing is, if you're very new, you may lose very interest. Okay, you may be, I mean, someone you may get scared after reading some of those articles. Okay, so they are pretty in-depth. I mean, you just need to know the basics at the beginning, then you can work yourself out to the deep. Okay, so in this video I'm going to define this and try to just briefly, I will give a very brief introduction to this so that you can get the gist and then probably work yourself out towards the next level of what this actually means and how it can be used in the programming world. So the definition of object-oriented programming, so it's basically is a programming computer programming model that organizes software design around data objects rather than functions and logic. Okay, I just don't want to read out the whole thing because I actually took it from the internet as well, so I have uh, put the link in the document itself. So what I want to tell you is that how do you define an object, because you need to know the definition of object first in order to get yourself work around the object oriented programming. Okay, so how do you define an object? So objects can have states and behaviors like a real world object. So everything you see around yourself is an object. For example, a human is an object, you are an object, I am an object, a car is an object. Okay, so a chair is an object, a table is an object. Okay, everything around you is an object. So I think it cannot get anything easier than this. Okay, and so uh, how does it relate to the programming world? So we can also define it as a container. Object is a container which contains the class information. So what is a class then? Okay, so class is basically a blueprint of an object. So what that means, it means that a class can have all the information, like it can have fields, that means the variables, as you may have known it this way. It can have functions, methods, which we call behavior in the real world. So basically the states are similar to the fields in programming in a class. Okay, and the functions, the methods are kind of like equivalent to the behavior. Okay, so basically one class consists of these two types of things, and so does the object. Object actually is the container, is self-contained. Okay, so it's the how does it say, it's the singular form of the class. Does it make sense? I don't know, but it's also called the instance of a class. An object can also be called as the instance of a class. So if I give you an example from the real world, so what I would say is that let's consider an animal as an object. So an animal can have different states like speed. Okay, it can have a state like speed. An animal object can have behaviors like it moves, it eats, it sleeps. These are its behaviors. Okay, so There are some principles and properties of object-oriented programming. So what are those? So I'm just not going to talk about those in this video. However, I'm just going to get you familiarized with these concepts in this video. So what are the principles and properties, the four fundamental things of object-oriented programming? That means that what makes up object-oriented programming object-oriented programming. Okay, so there are four principles. One is the encapsulation, second one is the abstraction, third one is the inheritance, fourth one is the polymorphism. If these things are absent in a software development environment or in a software code, you may tell that you are actually not following proper object-oriented programming. So in order to make an application or a software code object-oriented, you should follow these principles. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Let's meet next time.